born and raised in Memphis, Tennessee. I lived in Memphis pretty much my entire life.
Okay, well, I'm from Memphis, Tennessee, 28 years old. I grew up with my brothers and my sisters. I have 3 brothers and 1 sister.
So my family unit is pretty small. So it's my dad, my mom, myself, and I have an older sister.
We're a pretty close-knit family, and that's what kind of attracted me to Amanda. She was very family-oriented. I could see how she was close to her parents, and not just her parents, but nieces and nephews. So that really attracted me to her.
I met Brandon through his cousin, Caitlin. We actually went to the University of Memphis together, and one day we were eating lunch, and she was like, oh, I was talking about my guy friends, and she was like, I don't want to hear about that anymore. Let me tell you about my cousin.
So they were out at lunch one day, and she was kind of telling, hey, I got the perfect person for you. She gave me Amanda's number. Amanda told her, give her my number and, tell them to call me. So I waited. I didn't really contact her as soon as I got the number. I kind of waited. And then I think I might have texted her and was like, hey, what's up? This is Brandon. And she instantly texted back.
So at the beginning of the next year, 2014, we really started texting a lot. We were on the phone, like staying up all night, kind of falling asleep on the phone together. And I was like, wow, he has really great conversation and he might be worth my time.
So technically, I say the first date was Chick-fil-A, but she would say our first official date was the movies. We went to see Transformers, I think it was.
After the movies, I was like, well, he didn't ask me for a concession snack. Maybe he'll take me to dinner after. So after the movie, no dinner, no nothing. And I remember texting my sister Morgan and was just like, hey now, this is ridiculous. I think this was probably the last date.
You can't go down from the first date, you can only go up. So if you buy snacks and popcorn the first date, you gotta buy snacks, popcorn, and nachos and drinks.
So I kind of had already told him like, hey, you didn't ask me about a concession snack or a dinner after. So the next date, he did. He asked me, hey, do you want some popcorn? And so he gave me the money and I went and got the largest popcorn, the largest drink, and kept the change.
My first impression was, wow, I think she's gonna be the one.
For a couple of months, people kept telling me, I think you really like him, Amanda. And I was like, no, we're just friends. Until I realized, I really do like this guy. And he is I'm enjoying spending time with him. And I feel like, hey, this might be worth my while. He really showed me some compassionate sides of him that I never saw around anyone else. And then I realized, wow, I'm falling in love.
We went on a trip to California, and just the whole vibe, I was getting from her, I was like, I could definitely see myself being with her the rest of my life, having kids with her, starting a family with her. So I would say my first trip, I really started to feel like, okay, I think she's the one.
We were both relaxing, and I was like, okay, guess what? And I was telling myself, I'm really finna tell this guy that I love him, and it just wouldn't come out. So I was like, guess what? Chicken butt.
I kind of felt it was coming because I felt the same way, but I didn't really want to rush into it. But I felt it was coming. And she was like, Brandon, guess what? And I was like, what? She was like, chicken butt. But I could tell what she really wanted to say. She was just a little too nervous to say it.
Then I said, I love you, I'm falling in love with you. He kind of didn't say anything, and he was like, I figured that you were about to say that. So from that moment on, I knew this guy can potentially be the one for me.
The proposal. We were on a cruise. We took a cruise to St. Thomas, Grand Turks, St. Juan, and the Dominican Republic. And she told me one of her favorite spots out of the 4 spots we went to was Grand Turks. So I felt like that would be a perfect opportunity to propose to her. Her mom, her dad was there, her sister was there, her niece and nephew was there, my brother was there. And I just felt like it was the perfect opportunity to capture that moment.
So we get there to Grand Turk and we rode jet skis that morning. And after that, we were all grabbing something to eat and drink. And then we went over to, just relax in the sand, in the ocean,
Then we just kind of lounged around because I had to build up the courage to, get down on my knee. I'm like, okay, am I ready? Am I ready? I had to talk myself into it. So after we rode the jet skis, we chilled out for a minute, we ate, we drank, and everybody was standing there. So I just felt like this is the perfect time. Let me go ahead and do it now.
I literally turned around and he was on his knee. I cried like a baby.
And I really didn't have a chance to say anything because as soon as she turned around, she just started crying. So, she already knew what it was when she saw the ring. So that's kind of how that went.
All my crying and screaming and yelling, I said yes. My favorite characteristic about Brandon would have to be that he's very far as reliable with financial funds and things like that, so money. He's a great saver.
The initiative, she takes the initiative to do things. So I could say something or I could show her a pair of shoes or show her a shirt and she remembers it. I don't have to say it twice and I could come home and it'll just be on the bed. It's like, dog, I forgot about this. So, how did you remember that? And I think that's good. She remembers things that I like.
Brandon pretty much comes through for me even before we got in a serious relationship. I was able to call him if I needed something and he came through. I feel supported by Brandon definitely in my career. I know that being a counselor and kind of dealing with clients or patients that I have on a daily basis, it's overwhelming for me a lot of times, and Brandon is really patient.
Where I actually met Amanda around barber school time, and she was just really supportive of me going to barber school. She stayed on me about, after I graduated, she stayed on me about making sure I took my tests, making sure I renewed my license, things that we men tend to become forgetful of things and we forget things. So she really makes sure that everything that has a deadline, she makes sure that I get it done before the deadline.
So I was at work and then they was like, Amanda, you have a package at the front door. I was like, okay. I go up and it was a bouquet of flowers. So that really showed me that, he understands that I am really working hard and my job, even though it's rewarding, some days it definitely can be challenging. So him just recognizing that, I really appreciate it and love him for that.
She always tell me, baby, go for it. If this is what's going to make you happy, go for it. Five years from now, I see us with at least 2 kids, working on a second house, and probably us having a very successful business.
Working on a second child. Brandon might be farther down the line than that, but possibly a second child, or enjoying our first one. So just being able to enjoy my family. That's why I see myself in 5 years. So Brandon, I am so excited to spend the rest of my life with you. I can't believe we have made it this far.
I'm excited to get my life started with you. I can't wait to see you march down that aisle in that beautiful white dress you've been talking about. I can only imagine how beautiful it is and how beautiful you will be in it. I can't wait to see you, baby.
I love you so much, and I can't wait to experience life with you. I wouldn't see myself spending life with anyone other than you at this moment. I love you, and I'll see you at the altar.
I love you, baby.